be a swing. So a single, then a walk. Canada gets that base runner back, but at the cost of Nathaniel Cote. Justin Paquette is 2 for 6. A couple of runs scored, an RBI in the tournament. Digs in from the left side. See how aggressive they are with Dauphiné at first. First pitch to Paquette, outside corner strike.
I think after seeing that gun from behind the plate, Canada might be a little bit more cautious about how they're going to use this run game.
Swing and a miss. That's a fastball with some life. Oh, 2. That looked like it might have been a setup pitch, Tony.
You think it was like a little bit of a pitch out?
Not necessarily a pitch out. I wonder if he's going up and away to come down and in, change the eye level.
Oh, you're thinking about eye level. Let's see if it plays out.
1-2. He was going breaking ball. He was trying for the back foot. Instead, he got the right rib.
Now batting the first baseman.
This is the second game that Monzant has pitched in. He featured in the opener for Venezuela. Through 3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. Only 1 was earned with no walks and 3 strikeouts. Well, he's already walked 1. He's already allowed a hit. And he just gave up a hit by pitch. So Alex Gaudreau hit with runners on first and second. It's in the dirt. Fonseca smothers that. You know, Tony, looking at this Canada team, Gordon and I were talking about it after their first game. I mean, they looked not good. And I think that's a very delicate, gentle way of putting it. They were down 8-0 early. Found a way to claw their way back against a Czechia team that ended up getting bounced from the tournament. But they came into game 2, and Gordon and I were thinking, how are they going to be able to compete with Curacao? Well, it turns out they have some better pitching waiting in the wings. They used Thomas Bilodeau, who went 5 2/3, gave up 2 runs. Only 1 was earned, walked 4, but really didn't pay for it, struck out 7. So they can beat you in a number of ways, and so can this Venezuelan team, led by Alejandro Marquez.
Sometimes, you know, too, you just need a wake-up call of really what is this competition bringing you, and especially coming from all over the world, you have different competition all over the place. So maybe they just needed to see what type of competition they are getting themselves into to up their game.
You know, it's daunting to face a team like Venezuela, but Canada doing a really nice job of working Monzant's pitch count. Touch inside. On the ground left side, it's through for a base hit. Pena fields it quickly. They're going to wave the runner. He's going to be safe. Dauphiné crosses home plate. Canada strikes first.
And look here, I love the swing, gets the foot down, really able to drive that ball into the 6-hole. Wave that guy all day. Look, throws a little bit offline, but might need that throw a little bit later on in the game. But what a way for Canada to start this game.
Hit the ball hard, make Venezuela's defense work, and they're making Lionel Monzant work. He's thrown 23 pitches and has only recorded 1 out. Strike 1 to LeBon.
You know, maybe Canada had a talk with themselves. If they're tired of being down every game, let's try to draw first blood if we can.
The question for Canada is, can their pitching hold up? The issue in game 1 was certainly not in game 2. And Venezuela only threw Lionel Monzant for 3 innings back on August 1st. You have to think that his availability may have been aided by the weather conditions, because it is days of rest, not games.
Plays a big factor.
Right now, he's in a bit of trouble. 2 balls and a strike, 2 on, 1 out. Canada's already scored a run, and Fonseca is going to head out to the mound and have a word with his starting pitcher. What do you think this conversation's like, Tony?
Yeah, I think right now, I mean, especially when you're at 20-plus pitches in the first inning, you really have to understand that, hey, this game's going to get a little bit long, but hey, you're going to have to give yourself a chance and let your defense work and really be able to establish the strike zone and get ahead of some of these hitters. So far, he's been, you know, Monzant's been behind in a lot of these hitters.
He's behind again to Brian LeBon, who hacks at a pitch, bounces into the pitcher's mound, has to work quick. Throw to first is just in time to retire the Canadian number 5 hitter. 2 away, but a productive out moves both runners up 90 feet.
Now batting the second baseman, number 23, Rafael Jacques.
Rafael Jacques, power hitting lefty, takes strike 1. Jacques is 1 for 4 with a pair of RBIs in the tournament. And I can't tell if he's using a wood bat or if that bat is just very, very used.
Looks like it's got some camo on it.
It makes contact. That'll be a surefire way of finding that out. 1-1. Well, it's metal.
He's thinking to himself, maybe I'll let the other team have an advantage of maybe me using a wood bat when I go up there.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that design is. Looks like it's camouflage almost. Monzant will try to camouflage this 1-2 pitch and get it by Jacques. In a shaky scenario, here's the 1-2. High and away. Well, he tried to drop the breaking ball earlier to Paquette with a 2-strike count. I wonder if he's afraid to go back to that. Already north of 30 pitches.
Yeah, this is one where you're just trying to get in there, and I know you don't want him to make too hard a contact, but you also need to throw something that's over the plate.
The longer you keep Monzant in the game, the less likely he will be available in potentially an elimination game, championship game. So you have to be very aware of this pitch count. Already at 32. The 2-2. On the ground right side, it's off the glove of Velasquez into right field. Paquette scores, Gaudreau scores, Jacques makes it a 3-0 game.
And what a swing by Jacques right here. And I think for Velasquez, it just took a tough hop and just ate him up just a little bit, but it's still gonna go down as a single.
So a 2 RBI single. And they're going to use a special pinch runner for Jacques. Shows you how aggressive Canada wants to be here. They'll turn to number 15, Jacob Henry. Already 3 runs off 3 hits this inning. Not the start that Venezuela anticipated, but Canada looking like a completely different team than they did at the beginning of the tournament.
I know it's a long game, but it's got to feel good to at least get out to a little 3-0 head start.
Arsenault is 0 for 4 with an RBI in the tournament, searching for his first hit. His team already has a 3 spot and has forced Monzant to throw 35 pitches. Here's number 36. Outside. I'm not rooting for either team, but the Venezuela crowd is very into this game. It would be interesting to see what it would look like, Delaware versus Venezuela, and those 2 crowds. 1-2 pitch. Fouled back.
Yeah, I don't think too much has changed between the 2 fan bases, especially all the parents being out here. And you see the signs coming from Venezuela and what they represent, and especially in the World Baseball Classic and what they did. And Omar Lopez, what a showing by Venezuela.
1-2. Another foul ball. Monzant nearing 40 pitches in this top of the first against Canada. Desperately looking to turn it over to his very potent offense is Venezuela's starter. The 1-2 again with Henry on first. Outside corner, not granted. Mark Harvey said you can put it out there, but I'm not going to call it. Two. Breaking ball is just a bit high.
40 pitches in the first inning. That's a doozy. That's a doozy.
So Henry will be off with the pitch. Anything down the line is going to be trouble for Venezuela with the runner in motion. The payoff to Arsenault is high and outside. An emphatic bat flip. And now that decision to use a special pinch runner seems like the right one. Because Jacques, with his power-hitting frame, probably isn't going home on a single that's hit hard. Henry, on the other hand, might be a different story. So out comes the skipper for Venezuela, Alejandro Marquez, and with that clap, they're going to bring in a new pitcher. Mendez, his favorite athlete is Usain Bolt. He's going to try to get out of this inning quicker than Usain Bolt can run a sprint in the Olympics. Already 3 runs for Canada in the top of the first inning. They have runners first and second. 41 pitches for Lionel Monzont. Couldn't get out of the first inning. So this is a high pressure situation for Venezuela. You trust the offense to be able to come back in this game, but Canada has thrown the first punch in what I expect to be a great matchup between these two international teams. Jeremy Gauthier awaits the first pitch. He squares around a bunt, pulls back. Ball 1. Still a big gap on the right side. Pereira's going to play behind the runner at first. There's a strike. One from Hernandez. Another foul ball. Canada fights off anything close. Henry on second, Arsenault on first. 1-2. Check swing. He didn't go. Ball in the dirt. And they've got the runner a rundown. We'll see if Canada's going to try to bring the runner home. They didn't see it. A base running miscue by Yorick Arsenault, and Canada will run themselves out of the inning in the top of the first.
Yeah, not a good look for Canada right there. Not something that you want to do, especially when the pitchers are on the ropes.
So the inning ends with some patience by Fonseca, but Canada scores through. Right now, nobody's enjoying this region more than Canada. They've already won 2 games, and they're up 3-0 against Venezuela.
Center fielder number 19, Camilo Gutierrez.
But the interesting story to follow is the man on the mound, Justin Heward. This is his second start of the tournament. His ERA is undefined. Didn't make it out of the first, didn't record an out, but allowed 6 runs on a couple walks and 3 hits. He'll need to be more around the strike zone than he was against Czechia. His first pitch is high for ball 1.
You know, hopefully he can come into today with a short-term memory and forget about everything that's happened in the past and focus on today.
There's your lineup for Venezuela. 2 lefties stacked at the top of the order, then righties the rest of the way. So you can see the game plan from the Venezuela staff. We want to put pressure on that starting pitcher as early as possible. Ball and 2 strikes. This Venezuela team did great work in their region. Went 5-1 in Guayaquil, Ecuador. Breaking ball outside. Evens the count. Won 2 games already in the tournament. They won 6-3 in a comeback win against Australia where they trailed 3-1. They were late to arrive at that party, and then won 3-0 versus the Philippines. So the count runs full. Walks have been an issue for Canada. They issued 10 of them to Czechia. Fix that problem against Curacao as ball 4 goes high to Gutierrez. Against Curacao, Canada walked 6, so certainly not a great number, but a large improvement in comparison to some of their other games on the way to the tournament and in game 1. Ronald Castro hit behind Gutierrez. We'll see if they put him in motion early. First pitch. Breaking ball, he squared around to Bud, and the Venezuelan faithful didn't like the call.
Yeah, I'd also be surprised with how high Heward's leg kick is if this Venezuela team wasn't going to take advantage of it.
Slow motion to the plate, pitch is low, throw to second is short, and Gutierrez slides in safely. So Tony, how much goes into the decision to steal a base, not just as a base stealer, but also as a pitcher?
Yeah, I think that there's a couple things into it. Once you're going into the game scouting report, you know how fast the pitcher is going to be to the plate, how good is the catcher's arm. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Swinging bunt. Heward's throw is low, and a nice play by Gaudreau to handle that laser at his ankles. But a productive out.
To the plate, the catcher, number 17, Willinger Fonseca.
But also when you're still in a base, you want to make sure in certain situations that you're going to be 100% safe, and is this the right way to go about it? But also you want to make sure that the manager is going to be on the same side as you when stealing that base. So going into games, we just make sure how fast is this pitcher to the plate, how good is the catcher's throw out rate, and what other things do we need to factor in into my lead, and how good does my jump need to be?
Fonseca is 1 for 5 in the tournament with an RBI. Canada's infield comes in. Fonseca serves that to the practice field to our right. Canada bring their infield in, shows you how much they want to protect this 3-run lead. Every run matters with how they've had some pitching struggles to start the tournament. Breaking ball, throw behind the runner at third. Gutierrez gets back in before the throw. Do you like this decision to bring the infield in?
I think right now, if you're trying to minimize damage, it could be beneficial.
2-1. In the air down the right field line. Long run for Gautier. He makes it in fair territory, but that'll bring home the first run for Venezuela. Good situational hitting by Fonseca. It's 3-1.
Yeah, just a good piece of hitting too, getting the ball all the way to the outfield, but especially for the right fielder to track all the way over there and make that catch is also big too. Canada's still up 3-1.
So now Paul Gallardo. Have the bases empty. A much better outing so far. I know it's only 2 outs worth of sample size for Justin Heward, but he didn't record an out in his last start. Throwing strikes.
Hey, like I said, short-term memory, and I think that the coaches over there understand that, you know, this is one of our guys and we need him to be good, and for him to go back out there and have just a bad outing and then follow it up with coming out here and just trying to throw strikes, it just shows you he's doing better.
2-0 pitch. Now 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk. So back-to-back starts with multiple walks in the first inning for Heward.
Now batting the first baseman, number 15, Miguel Pereira.
That'll move the line to Miguel Pereira. How aggressive is Venezuela going to be with the runner on first? Find out here with first pitch strike. One thing you expect about Venezuelan players, a high baseball IQ. They've watched high-level baseball. And Pereira wants one pitch in one spot.
Definitely a treat, too, especially watching big leaguers come out of Venezuela. And especially you see that at a young age, what these guys have been able to do. A lot of these guys are going to continue their playing careers.
That was awfully close until we got to the ballpark today. He followed my brother on social media, and you know who else he's going to follow on social media? Little League. You can find Little League on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the official handles at Little League. And don't forget to use the hashtag LLWS. He's checking the highlights. There have been a lot of them through one inning. Canada leads Venezuela 3-1. Stephen Carey and Tony Kemp. I mean, what's up with that as this ball is skied out to center? And Gutierrez makes easy work of that. You follow my brother. I mean, there is a pretty clear reason why that happened, but why did it take you so long? I mean, we met in St. Louis last year in September.
Well, I was just making sure that you're a cool enough guy. You know, I got to make sure that my follower list is up to par with people being decent human beings.
There we go. And I think I've made the cut because you didn't actually follow me until right then when I voiced some frustration about it. He's going to text my brother and just say, hey, man, get me back to working with you. This guy is needy.
You know what? I want to say that you guys are actually great to work with. I will say that. But I don't know. Who knows? After this tournament, the unfollow button might happen as well.
It might have to. He's going to get tired of hearing my voice. The 1-1 pitch to Leo McMahon, and a good changeup gets him out in front, 1-2.
Yeah, we're gonna get your followers up. We're gonna do, yeah.
That was a little patronizing. Is my follower count not good enough?
No, I don't know what it is. I just, however
clearly you don't, and that's a great start for Venezuela. You saw 3 different pitches in that sequence, and Hernandez strikes out his first man of the afternoon. Venezuelan fans are under umbrellas trying to shade themselves, but 2 are very quickly retired. Not all of us can have tens of thousands of adoring fans on Instagram, Facebook, and X, everywhere,
I
everything
just said,
else.
however I can help you.
Right.
I'm here to help you.
Got it. 2 away, back to the top of the order we go with Nathaniel Cote. And Hernandez is just slinging him in there. 0-2 pitch. Hit out into center. Good piece of hitting by Cote. Waited back on that baseball. Dished it into center field, and a 2-out hit brings up Malik Dauphiné.
Number 13, Malik Dauphiné.
And a great swing by Cote right here. You know, down in the zone, good lefty swing, lets the ball travel into the hitting zone. Doesn't do too much with it, knows he has 2 strikes on him. Really what a good leadoff hitter does right there is what he just did.
Dauphiné walked and later scored. How important is it for Venezuela to keep racking up scoreless innings and turning it back over to their offense?
Yeah, I think as long as they just want to keep chipping away, because they know that eventually they might just try to out-hit the other team. So they just have to continue to just hold Canada at bay.
Ball and a strike. 1-1 pitch is just a touch outside. Here's the pitch. Pulled foul. Two is taken low. Canada has been extremely picky with 2 strikes.
Yeah, and I think for the pitch right here, it's going to be something that if you can drive this to the outfield, it's going to be a first or third situation.
Runner going, line drive into center, and the line moves on for Canada. They'll throw behind the runner, but nobody was covering. So Dauphiné continues the inning. Back-to-back singles with 2 outs. And Justin Paquette will have a chance to make contact with his bat, not his rib cage.
Number 8, Justin Paquette.
Paquette was hit by a pitch his last time up. There's strike 1. His favorite celebrity is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Now, what is your favorite The Rock movie?
Okay, so we've crossed off Adam Sandler.
We've talked Scooby-Doo.
We have talked Scooby-Doo. The Rock. There's a lot of things I could pick with this. Your answer after this pitch, potentially. Hit out into right field. It's sinking fast. Castro can't make the play. It's off Velasquez's glove. Rounding third and scoring is Cote, and a blue pit for Canada extends their lead back to 3.
No, yeah, I know it's a little lofted, little play. Oh, man, what an effort out there by Velasquez, almost coming up with it. Would have been a heck of an over-the-shoulder catch, but Canada continues to add on to their lead.
That's a killer for Venezuela. 3 2-out hits. Now you got to deal with Alex Gaudreau, who drove in the game's first run. My favorite Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie. Hit on a line, and Hernandez is there. Fast reflexes to retire the side, but he gives up a run. The deficit back to 3 for Venezuela. We've got a fun one here in Easley. What a play.
What a snag.
I think I played youth soccer. Wasn't any good at it. Got to Little League. Wasn't that good at that either. And then I decided I was going to be a broadcaster, as a hit by pitch to Jose Romero puts him on first.
Process of elimination for you, I might say.
Yes, absolutely.
Number 2, Velasquez.
Process of elimination is what all of my coaches would say to me after every tryout I ever had in this great game. Gabriel Velasquez will take strike 1.
You know, at least you gave it your best effort.
I did, and you know what? I really enjoyed Little League. They're my best baseball memories as a player, and even working in the major leagues, I look back at my time in Little League with so much fondness. I'm sure you have similar stories. Do you remember the name of your first Little League coach?
Yes. In travel ball?
Yeah.
Ever. Joe Grills. Yes, I do.
Everybody remembers their first.
The Franklin Storm.
Mine was Coach John McRae.
Really?
Yeah, he was great. I can name a couple of my Little League coaches, actually.
You still didn't answer the Rock question.
Yes, I thought about it. Have you ever seen the movie Red Notice on Netflix?
Yes.
Where they're stealing the paintings and stuff?
That's actually a good one.
I
Okay.
like that movie.
Good answer.
Sometimes you got to think them through. Just goes to show my Rock knowledge quite doesn't quite match up with my Scooby-Doo knowledge.
You know, he does a lot more voiceovers, like in Moana as Maui.
Spoken like a father of 2 young girls.
There we go.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a drive belted to deep left. McMahon to the track. To the wall. He made the play. That ball was torched, and McMahon had to go a long way to make that catch to retire Gabriel Velasquez.
Now batting the left fielder, number 5.
And I'm gonna have to give my credit to my man McMahon out there. Velasquez thinking that he got a really good piece of it, but the way that McMahon goes and tracks this fly ball, good thing he had the shades on. He's working against the sun, but going back over his shoulder. What a catch. Good catch right there. Good range.
High degree of difficulty. Saved a run, maybe 2. It's Alberson Pena. Venezuela has that pop. They're a team that can hit the long ball. Jose Romero, who stands on first, has a home run in this tournament. Two-0. Bends over the middle of the plate, 2-1. Venezuela, the 2024 Senior League Baseball World Series champions from this same Little League. Venezuela, we're also going to be the Latin American representatives in 2025. As this is rolled over to the left side, it'll get through for a base hit. So Venezuela has 2 aboard and just 1 out with their number 9 hitter coming up. But of course, Venezuela was unable to travel to the United States. So Mexico were the Latin American representatives.
What a swing right here. And just to get it into the 6-hole is even better. Sometimes as a hitter, it's, for me being a lefty, I was always hitting through the 4-hole. The 6-hole was a little bit more difficult, but for that thing to sneak through, you just feel so elated when you hit first base.
Venezuela is going to play this thing straight. Swinging away with their number 9 hitter and 1 out. Morales is 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Giving him the right side. And he squares around a bunt, bunts it high, back to the mound. Heward finds it, bobbles it, everybody's safe. You put the ball in play, good things happen, and now you've got to deal with Camilo Gutierrez.
You know, for Morales here, I'm not sure if he knew if he was going to try to go to second base here, but he puts it in the perfect triangle right there, and for Heward to kind of come up with that play was going to be a difficult play. So now we got the bases loaded.
In the dirt, blocked by LeBon. And the throw from the catcher over the pitcher's head. We saw that mistake in the first game Canada featured in against Czechia. Happened in the second inning. Leo McMahon was beneficiary of that mistake from Czechia. A throw back to the mound from the pitcher. Venezuela decided not to force the issue. A 1-0 count with their most dangerous hitter. Gutierrez already has 3 RBIs. Just goes to show that As the leadoff hitter, the bottom of the order's been doing their job, getting on base and giving him a chance to drive home some runs.
And when your bottom of the lineup is working, it makes things so much easier for the top of the order to come up.
One-oh pitch from Heward. Called a strike. One-one. And he wanted it. Left it up, and Gutierrez just missed it. How do you balance the thought of doing maximum damage versus doing the job here?
Yeah, I think now that Gutierrez is in a 1-2 count, you're just looking to make contact.
Tony, base is loaded. Nobody's able to get that good situational hit or sacrifice fly.
Yeah, I think that Georgia ran into that problem a lot. I mean, I think we discussed in between each of those innings of when they couldn't drive those runs in, it kind of came back to bite them, unfortunately.
Ronald Castro still hitless in the World Series. 0 for 6. The improvements for Justin Heward cannot be overstated. Didn't make it through an out in the first inning, and this is spun weakly left side. Arsenault charges. The throw to first is late. Everybody's safe again, and Venezuela makes it a 2-run game.
Now batting the catcher, number 17, Willinger Fonseca.
You know, and Castro to be hustling down this line right here just puts even more pressure on the defense. And I think for, you know, the defense right here just coming up and trying to make this play even made it more difficult because of how fast Castro is running down the line.
Venezuela will take it. Popped up, foul territory, and out of play. But no, Heward has done a really nice job in comparison to his last start, but the pitch count climbing a bit. He is now at the 40 pitch mark. Heward's 0-1, taken outside. This Venezuela team in their regional outscored opponents 61-8. Their average margin of victory was just under 9 runs. Here they find themselves down 2 to Canada. One on the ground to the left side. Arsenault will flip to the covering Jacques. Take the easy way to second.
A lot of base runners have been getting on, but the production in terms of the execution when the guys get in scoring position just hasn't been there. But still 6 runs total in the game, top 3. So we'll see how the game will unfold here.
There's strike 1 to Laban. Grounded back to the pitcher in the first. Hernandez has settled things down a bit for Venezuela on defense. So Tony, you told me that your wife is from Canada. Have you ever been to Montreal?
Yes, I have been to Montreal. There are some beautiful cobblestone roads up there. We actually went to a nice spa. It was a relaxing time. It was in the off season. We were actually going to the consulate because my wife had to get some things done for her passport. She's actually a dual citizen.
This is hit out to center. Gutierrez just looks so smooth and comfortable out there for the first out.
Yeah, when you look at Gutierrez out there in the outfield, he looks like a left-handed little Andrew Jones out there that just caught that baseball.
It's casual, and it just speaks volumes about the level of play in Venezuela.
Yeah, you look at a player like Gutierrez out there, and he just looks like he could play in the big leagues. It's what scouts would say, fills out a uniform and looks like a very a typical baseball player out there. So I hope that he continues to progress in his baseball savviness and continues to play well, and he's going to have a chance to play in the big leagues.
Well, you know that some of these kids aged between 14 to 16 are already being scouted by major league teams. You can sign international free agent contracts really as young as 14 years old. 1-1 pitch, spun back to the mound, backhanded by Hernandez, and his feed to first in plenty of time.
You know, and speaking on that, I think when we walked in, we saw 2 scouts? Saw a couple scouts. So, yeah, it's, you know, it's getting earlier and earlier for these guys to get scouted and looked at, and you can see it. You never know what talent you're going to find. And I think that speaks volumes to whenever I talk to young athletes or people who are playing sports is, 1, you never know who's going to be in the stands, and 2, you never know who's going to watch you for the first time. So you might as well go out there and play with your heart out and leave everything you got on the field.
Couldn't agree more, Tony. First pitch strike. It's just so cool to see the different cultures interacting at this event. The talent level, not just from the teams that you expect to be really good like Venezuela, but teams from non-traditional baseball markets like Canada. As Arsenault shows bunt, and he can't get it down, 0-2. I mean, even teams like Czechia and Australia have been impressive over the last few years coming to the Senior League Baseball World Series.
Yeah, and for those players to come out of especially areas that don't typically have a lot of baseball year-round, it might be a little harder for them to get scouted. So to come to a tournament like this is big for them.
Baseball is becoming more of a global game by the day. And I think that's a very good thing. Ball and 2 strikes from Hernandez is popped up. Left side, will it stay playable? Fonseca sheds the mask, and it stayed in play, but he couldn't catch it at the netting.
He almost made an unbelievable play right here. Ball just came a little bit more back than what he thought. Glove tips off it.
One, 2. Breaking ball again. Fouled away. This was the issue for Hernandez last inning. Got the first 2 hitters with relative ease, and then the next 3 singled off of him. Now Arsenault to first, takes a high hop and will trickle into right field. So again, a 2-out hit. That's 4 of them against Hernandez.
Yeah, and there's not much you can do right here for Miguel. I mean, just a tough hop, and thank goodness he got his face out of it. Almost took a even worse hop up toward the shoulder area.
Jeremy Gauthier, have a runner on first and 2 outs. Again, some of this has to do with the fact this field has been abused by the elements throughout the course of this week. Our great staff and the volunteers have done all they can to make the field playable on a game-by-game basis. Sometimes you're just going to run into some uneven dirt, some grass that's been ripped up.
You know, and we talked about how many base runners have already been on in this game, and you can kind of see over by first base all the foot marks over there. So not exactly the best hops are going to be made over there.
Ball at a strike. Both teams have scored in each of their 2 offensive innings. I think this game will come down to who can put up a 0 at the right time. There's a strike. Two on the ground to short. Morales will take it to the bag himself, and Venezuela. Want to see some girls with game? Tune into yet another exciting summer of softball and visit littleleaguesoftball.org for great content, information about starting a softball league, and more. Softball World Series for the Senior League is, I believe, in Greenville, North Carolina, right down the road. So they've been experiencing some of the inclement weather, but the highlights from those games have been awesome.
Coming to the plate is the designated hitter, number 8, Paul Gallardo.
Four, 5, and 6 due up for Venezuela. Found their first scoreless inning on defense. But the great work of Justin Heward has kept very talented offensive lineup in check. But another hit batsman. That's the second hit batsman by Heward. The second consecutive inning that a batter has been hit to lead off the inning.
Number 15, Miguel Herrera.
Here's a look. Looked like he tried to pull that elbow in. Never want to get hit on the elbow, but that velo, you're probably okay with it. To get on base.
Any means possible.
By any means possible. What's the worst hit by pitch you've ever experienced?
In the ankle bone. You know, it was off of a ricochet. So hit off of the dirt, off of my right ankle bone. Didn't feel good. Didn't feel good.
It's never fun.
But I was on first base.
Was that pre-Evo Shield? You're not that old, but
I never wore any Evo shields when I played.
it's tough. That's how they do it in Franklin, Tennessee. 0-2 pitch on the ground, up the middle, and it gets through to center. Venezuela is not going to go quietly in this game. If you think that 2 runs scares them, sorely mistaken. And Jose Romero, who homered in one of the earlier games for this Latin American representative team, comes up with 2 aboard.
Yeah, I feel like Heward's throwing a lot of off-speed pitches. And right there, just left it too much middle.
And they'll lay down a bunt with Romero, and boy, is it a beauty. Nobody's covering first. And Venezuela, with some small ball, has a great opportunity in the bottom of the 3rd.
Coming to the plate, the second baseman, number 2.
That must have been a miscommunication between Jacques and Gaudreau, the first baseman.
Yeah, and for Venezuela, you love when it works out like that, just trying to get a sacrifice down, but Romero puts it in a perfect spot down the 3rd baseline, and I think Heward went to go throw it. Good thing he didn't just turn and throw, because that ball would have been down the right field line.
Base is loaded, nobody out. And these are the opportunities that you have to take advantage of. Gabriel Velasquez flew out to right last inning. Now he hits one high and deep to right center. Gauthier camps, catches, and will throw into the cutoff man at short. That'll bring home another run for Venezuela. It's a one-run ball game. So Gallardo scores. Pereira moves to third. They're on the corners with only one out.
A beautiful piece of hitting. Exactly what you want to do right there. Not too much in that situation. Get the ball to the outfield so your team can crawl at least one more run back into this game.
Benoit Blaise over to talk to his team. Venezuela had him loaded last inning, didn't score the necessary runs to tie the game. They did get a run back, but left a lot of meat on the bone. They've scratched 3 runs across over the last 3 innings. They were down 3-0 from the jump. We said it, Tony. This game is going to come down to who can put up a 0 in the most crucial time, and maybe the most crucial time was that top of the 3rd inning. As Alberson Pena comes up, runner going, Pena swinging, flared to right, Gauthier on the run, and it's foul for the first strike. Probably would have brought home the tying run if Gauthier caught the baseball. Romero could be in play yet again at first with an 0-1 count. Got a late break, another foul ball. So Romero's just getting his wind sprints in. Is that frustrating when you're taken off to second and the hitter in the box just keeps fouling away pitches?
You know, I think one time in a game I counted, I did 5 in a row. 3-2 count, 2 outs, 5 straight foul balls.
And time's called. Well, a lot of people say that baseball's easy because you only have to run 360 feet maximum at a time. Well, you just gave me a scenario where that number is a lot higher.
Yeah, I don't know who's saying baseball's easy, but, you know, teach their own.
0-2, another foul ball. It's a 1-run game. The tying run stands 90 feet away for Venezuela. Pena singled his last time up. Doesn't necessarily need one to bring this game level. He's fighting it off. Venezuela seeking their 5th title at this level since 1996. This would be the 3rd team from Maracaibo to hoist a Senior League World Series trophy. 0-2, runner going. And swinging and driving down the line is Pena. 1 run scores. Moving to 3rd, Romero. Venezuela has tied the game at 4. Found a breaker that caught too much of the zone, and that's probably going to be it for Justin Heward.
And this is what we talked about, this Venezuela team. You know, it was only a matter of time until they started hitting the ball harder and harder, and Pena right there just absolutely knew it right off the bat. Little hanging breaking ball and something that he could just drive down the 3rd baseline.
So Heward makes it through 2 1/3, but We're tied at 4. Canada's going to make a pitching change, and we will take an entrepreneur.
Number 7, Danny Morales.
That's above my pay grade. I just say ball 2. But he's going to try to throw strike 3 2 times against 9 and 1 in the order. Danny Morales singled his last trip and will take strike 1.
Big dreams for the kid.
Morales wearing a different helmet than the previous 2 games. The helmet kept falling off. I wish I had that problem. The story after this pitch. So when I was playing Pop Warner football, okay, they give out helmets.
Correct.
They couldn't find one that fit my head.
Holy.
So from having too big of a helmet to too small of one, the duality of man. Runner going, pitch in. Throw comes into second. They'll let it travel. Venezuela's not going to bring the runner from third home, so 2 in scoring position.
What position were you?
In my mind, I was a quarterback. I only lasted about a week. I saw a kid get stretchered off, and I said, I'm done. I'm going back to playing lacrosse.
This ain't for me, man.
Nope. I told you. I'm not the bravest of men. 2 balls and a strike to Morales. He collects Hot Wheels.
I need a picture of this Pop Warner helmet now.
I don't think I took a picture of it. But the guy that was trying to put it on wasn't exactly gentle.
Oh, goodness.
It's probably the reason why I am the way I am today.
What size hat do you wear?
I haven't worn a hat. You think I'm going to keep this hair underneath a hat? 2-2. It's outside 3 and 2.
I don't know. You size 8?
Pretty good. I mean, look at this. Like, that's nice.
It's not bad, though. I mean,
Should do that more often.
you know.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Canada's infield's in. The pitch to Morales. And you could tell where he wants that baseball. Middle in. He gets the timing right. Venezuela's going to have a 2-run lead. The baseball's going to be down the line.
Now, I'll tell you one thing. They're not missing too many barrels.
Three-two pitch is taken low. The small-framed Morales will walk to first. Venezuela a chance to play station to station and put up an even bigger crooked number with the top of their order coming back to the plate.
Coming to the plate, the center fielder number 19, Camilo Gutierrez.
Camilo Gutierrez has walked and popped out to short. Had this exact situation his last time up. He popped out to the shortstop, Dauphiné. Gets a chance to redeem himself here with the infield in, bases loaded in a tie game. Pitch is floated up, and away.
Shout out Kid Cudi.
Great musical appreciation to my right. If Gutierrez can deliver, he's going to feel like a man on the moon. (2-0). A strike.
Good for you. I see what you did there. And that's just phenomenal Kid Cudi references.
I play the cards I'm dealt. 2-1 pitch. Inside. And Gutierrez just gets out of the way of that. Wonder if he thought about getting out of the way a little slower and bringing home that leading run. A guy like this, he doesn't want to earn an RBI on a hit by pitch. He wants to drive him home. Hitters count. Maurice's 3-1 is taken high. Ball 4. Venezuela leads 5-4. 3 runs already in the bottom of the 3rd.
And now this is officially turned into a big inning for Venezuela. Anything more than 3 runs is considered a big inning.
See some fans of Ronald. Vamos meaning go, Ronald meaning Ronald, and the numeral 18 signifying his jersey. See how we broke that down? Castro singled his last time up. Spins that back our way, a good looking swing. You can feel the energy swinging in favor of Venezuela. It's in the dirt. Little help from Mark Harvey keeps that ball in the neighborhood. I want to take you back, Tony, to 2024 when Venezuela won the Senior League Baseball World Series. Get another look. Yeah, it got the right hand of Mark Harvey. That didn't feel good. But in 2024, they went undefeated, outscoring their opponents 47-6. They didn't allow more than 3 runs in any game.
That is an impressive stat.
Ball and a strike. Castro puts it on the ground to first. Gaudreau's coming home. The throw back to first base is going to be late. But a smart play by Gaudreau to come home with the baseball. Bases remain loaded, but the score stays the same.
Willinger Fonseca.
Willinger Fonseca. Sacrifice fly grounded into a 5-4 fielder's choice to end the 2nd inning. I think if you keep this at a 1-run game, it's a win for Canada.
100% agreed.
Ball and a strike from Maurice. Venezuelan on every base. And a ground ball hit to 3rd. Arsenault will take it to the bag himself. But Venezuela, a 3-run inning to take a 5-4 lead. From right field, Jeremy Gomez is taking over in that spot. First pitch, bunt laid down, but too much spin on it. It goes foul. And I like the idea by Leo McMahon. You need a base runner. You're down by a run. Haven't been at a deficit in quite some time.
Always a good play, too. Just, you know, especially after a long inning, being out there on defense and come out here and maybe try to surprise the defense with something.
Nothing in 1. Check swing. He didn't go. That's a good pitch, though. Tantalizing pitch. Man struck out swinging his last time up. To Hernandez's credit, he's thrown a lot of strikes. Been really good at getting the first 2 hitters out in the 2 innings he's pitched so far. Now he finds himself in a 3-1 count. Venezuela, like I mentioned earlier, Tony, they mowed their way through the competition in the 2024 Senior League World Series.
Yeah, tell me about that a little bit.
Well, like I said, they outscored their opponents 47-6, but what's interesting about that year is McMahon strikes out swinging, is that there was one team from one place that gave them a little bit of trouble.
And where might that be from?
Well, I'll let you take a guess.
Now batting the designated hitter,
Canada.
number 9.
It's this Canada team, you're
Nathaniel
right.
Cote.
Venezuela won that game 3-2. So
A scare, you might say.
yeah, you look at playing 5 games in the Senior League World Series, you're averaging almost 10 runs a game. You allowed nearly a run a game. You're beating your opponents by 8 or 9 runs, and Canada forces you into a 1-run game. They met in the international final that year. Now, Venezuela had made some big adjustments. They won 10-1 in the final, but don't sleep on Canada. Ground ball to short. Nice play from Morales. His throw in time.
You know, I will say sometimes certain teams just have your number. And I know they still got the victory back in 2024, but even right now, Canada holding them tight.
The shortstop, number 13, Malik Dauphiné.
Not a whole lot to lose in a game like this. It's double elimination. Neither of these teams have lost yet, but a whole lot to gain. Get a couple days rest. Automatic bid to the final. You can come back, enjoy the games tomorrow without feeling like you need to play. Be ready to mentally prepare. Canada down a run. One pitch. Caught on and missed.
Good, healthy swing, though.
Dauphiné, I'm not sure if he's wearing gloves. I think they are. And a called strike 3, a late strike 3 call.
Little delayed.
Paul Gallardo leads things off for Venezuela. He's reached base twice. Walk and a hit by pitch. Four of the 5 runs scored by Venezuela have been scored by the trio that's due up this inning. 4, 5, and 6. Gallardo has scored a run, Pereira has scored a run, and Romero has scored 2. Hitters count. How aggressive are you being here on 3-1, Tony?
You know, I think for where the pitcher is settling, especially just spiking a fastball, I don't know if I'm swinging right here.
And he wasn't. Ball 4. So here's your United States bracket. Delaware has advanced to the United States final. Hawaii and South Carolina will meet in an elimination game 30 minutes after the final out of this game. The winner of that game will play Georgia with a chance to make it to the U.S. final. So that's the situation on the U.S. side of the bracket. similar things will play out here between the loser of this game and the winner of the matchup on the other side. Fly ball pretty well hit to left center. Paquette races over, some miscommunication in the alley, but a nice play made for the second out. Excuse me, the first out. Lost track of outs there. I was too busy talking about the bracket on the U.S. side.
Now batting the third baseman, number 10, Jose Romero.
It's important for Venezuela to keep adding on. Canada has controlled the pace of this game for a large portion of this contest. And another hit by pitch will put Jose Romero aboard. That's the second time he's been plunked. The third time a Venezuela hitter has reached via a hit by pitch.
Gabriel Velasquez.
Venezuela will employ a pinch runner. Whether it's a special pinch runner or not remains to be seen. We'll find out next defensive inning for the Venezuelans. It's Fabricio Diaz coming to run for Gallardo. Had runners in scoring position in every inning of this game. And a pitch spiked in the dirt, gets away from Labonte. Everybody moves up 90 feet. These are those unforced mistakes that allow teams like Venezuela to pull away in close games.
Yeah, and right there, just the pass ball is just going to give it even more time for Venezuela to do some damage. And runners on second and third, less than 2, and you're going to have to bring the infield in for Canada.
Ball and no strikes. Venezuela, I mean, anything left on the inner third, they are mashing. His nickname is El Velox. It means the fast one or the swift one. Two balls and 2 strikes, 2 in scoring position. Venezuela up a run, they'd like a bigger cushion. But Labonte is going to go have a word with Maurice on the mound.
I like it. Let's talk it over.
Makes sense. Spot like this. Things have unraveled a bit for Canada against Venezuela. You really need to make 2 good pitches. The one that gets this guy and the one that gets the next. Question of can Maurice do that remains to be seen. Two and two. Infield playing in, want to keep it at a 1-run game. They've been aggressive defensively in that sense all afternoon long. 3-2. Hit on the line over the glove of Dauphiné. Gallardo scores. Romero's getting the windmill home. The throw is not in time, and Venezuela adds 2 more.
And what a swing by Velasquez right there. I mean, boom. Just a good swing right there. Didn't try to do too much and puts his team ahead by 3. And I could see why that nickname is his, because running down first base, those feet were absolutely motoring.
So Venezuela up by 3. They've scored in every inning of this game. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and now a pair here in the fourth. Velasquez stays pasted on the first base bag. Swing and a miss. Runner going, throw to second, no chance. Picked a breaking ball to run on, and Labonte with a good throw to second, but Velasquez just too fast.
Yeah, I think now you can see this Venezuela team just absolutely feeling that momentum of, 1, their fans and everybody here, and 2, just the flow of the game.
They've made Canada work. Venezuela was calm, cool, collected after a team from just outside Montreal scored 3 runs in the top of the first. They scratched and clawed their way back. Now they're the ones with a 3-run lead, but a great pitch by Maurice retires Pena. That's the first time he has been sat down in this game.
The shortstop, number 7, Danny Morales.
Yeah, good pitch. Good pitch. Starts up and out of the zone, and just the curveball just sits right down there.
I'm sure Pena was looking for something a little bit harder with 2 strikes. Another RBI chance for Danny Morales. Runner on second, 2 outs. Take down and away. Three balls and no strikes. And Morales backed out of the batter's box as the pitch was being thrown. Benoit Blaise might be making a change. Runners first and second, 2 out. See what he does here with his team down by 3. He's going to take the ball from Maurice. And he just hit Camilo Gutierrez. Second hit by pitch of the inning, 4th hit by pitch of the game, and the bases are loaded for Venezuela again.
Coming to the plate, the right fielder, number 13.
Just a bit inside.
If you add up the walks and hit by pitches, Canada has given 10 free passes. You just can't do that against a team like Venezuela. Ronald Castro will be lifted. It's Jeremy Gomez. He came in as a defensive replacement for Castro. Gomez with the bases loaded. Chance to blow this game wide open. But he might not have to swing.
Yeah, I think they need this Duke pitcher and Hubert to really find the zone first.
Two and one. No, excuse me, 3-0. It's outside. And a 4-pitch walk. So Venezuela goes station to station. It's 8-4, and game slowly getting out of reach for Canada. And you can't blame some of these young guys.
Now batting the catcher, number
Walks are going to be an
17.
issue at the lower levels of baseball. The strike zone is also a factor in that. But I remember being that age, growing into my body, not really understanding how to move it effectively, to do some of the things that I was doing as a young athlete. It's difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah. When did you become 6'4"? How early did you get that height?
I was late in my sophomore year of high school, I think. And I'm not tall. I'm vertically gifted. So there's strike one.
Oh, I get that. Well, I never really hit my growth spurt.
Speed kills, my friend. I bet it's a lot easier to shop for pants.
Yes, correct. And a smaller strike zone. So
Exactly. Back-to-back 3-run innings for Venezuela. They're hungry for more. Remember, you get to 10 runs of lead after 5, the game ends. They lead by 4 now, but the bases are loaded. One-two pitch. Fought off by Fonseca. He's made contact, has nothing to show for it, except for a sacrifice RBI in the first.
and that absolute gun of an arm to get the base runner trying to steal in the first inning.
1-2 pitch is outside. And it's not a gigantic strike zone for Mark Harvey, and for Hubert, who's trying to throw strikes over the plate, makes it even more difficult, but he gets Fonseca to chase. So the side retired, but 3 more for Venezuela, who now lead 8-4. They're in control as we head to the 5th on ESPN on Wednesday, August 6th. Learn more at littleleague.org/athletesunlimited. That's pretty convenient. You can watch the Softball World Series, then see the AUSL Pro Games. Convenient timing. I'm sure that there was a lot of planning that went into that. But the crowd is excited about what Venezuela's been able to do. Canada needs a response. They have been outscored 7-0 since the bottom of the second. Justin Paquette leads things off.
Yeah, for Canada right here, just let's get a base runner first, and let's see what we can do with it.
Couple of defensive changes. Miguel Pereira moves from first to catcher. So Fonseca and his arm is out of the game. There is a rule to how many pitches you can catch. They do have limits on how much they want these young guys catching, and to avoid the wear and tear on their knees. Fonseca moves to first, so a straight switch between those two. This is hit out to center. Gutierrez will handle that for the first out. So you have Fonseca at first. Pereira is the new catcher.
You know, that's actually a great idea. I've never, you know, been too familiar with the how many pitches you can catch behind the dish, but my brother was a catcher, and I think he would have benefited from that role.
Actually, I beg your pardon, Romero is at first and Fonseca is at third. So, guys with the 90-degree angle positions are all over the place. Nothing in 2 with 1 out. Gaudreau, 1 for 2, an RBI single and a line out back to the pitcher. This Canada team trying to make some history this year as the 0-2 pitch comes home. It's fought off. Canada has never won the Senior League World Series. They've never won the Little League World Series, the Junior League World Series, or the Intermediate World Series. 2024 was the last time that Canada had won multiple games at the Senior League World Series. Went 3-2 and lost in the semifinals, or the international final, if you want to be more specific, against this team.
I wonder if a lot of those kids are playing hockey.
Can imagine so, especially up near Montreal. Montreal Canadiens are the winningest organization in the National Hockey League. 1-2 pitch is too tight. But I find it really impressive. Canada has had a great showing so far in this tournament. They've competed with some really good teams. The 2-2 is whistled foul. Last time Canada had a great finish in the Senior League World Series was in 1989. Team from Surrey out of British Columbia, which is right by Vancouver, Seattle. They were runners-up to Chinese Taipei, 1989.
Wasn't even born yet.
It's a decade before I was even a thought. 2-2. Hit to right. Gomez fighting the wind, and it's down in front of him. Baseball had a whole lot of spin on it. Did not ever have a good read, and Gaudreau with a bloop double is into second for Canada.
Yeah, I think as he was coming in on this ball, had a little bit more of a backspin, tailspin toward the right field line, and I think that he just had a better beat on it than what he imagined, and as his ball was dying, had a tough time getting to it.
It's getting a little windy here at JBO and Sports Complex. We'll take the wind. What we won't take is what usually comes with it. Had enough of that over the last few days. Brian Labonte with a runner in scoring position. Strike one. Oh, 1 pitch. Up and in. Fly ball hit to left. Pena fighting the wind, comes in and gathers it for the second out. Hey, Tony, I'm interested. You played Major League Baseball, better part of 9 years. You played on the Baltimore Orioles. Of course, you played on the then Oakland Athletics. That's where a lot of people know you from. But when you were playing with the Orioles, you played a decent amount in Toronto. What was the Canadian fan base like there?
When people ask me where I love to play the most, I always say that the Rogers Centre in Canada is on the top of the list. And I know that my wife's family's from there, but there's a time that I have a specific memory of Canada Day. Everybody's wearing red, the whole stadium's packed out, day game. The roof is open, the CN Tower is in the background. And it was just a fun time. And, you know, when you're playing up there, you're playing with a whole country behind you. So always had an appreciation about those Jays fans and what they brought in the atmosphere and to the baseball game.
Of course, one of the longtime Major League teams that also played in Canada were the Montreal Expos. Sad to see them go.
Did you watch that documentary?
I did, and it's unfortunate how that all played out. The runner's going to break for third, picked a good pitch to go on. He swipes it easily. So Alex Gaudreau with some heads-up base running moves up 90 feet. Canada's still down by 4. They need to chip away. They need to do what Venezuela did the first 3 innings of this game. 1-2 pitch. Jacques fouls it back. I'm sure the coaches remember the Expos. Of course, the Canadians, the hockey team, sort of monopolized that town from a sporting standpoint. 1-2 as well outside.
Yeah. And what do you think about the fans out there? Do you think that they still wanted to see baseball played out there?
I think so. I mean, I think I still see people walking around with Expos caps and jerseys. 2-2 breaking ball.
I'll say they had some really good hitters, some really good talent up on some of those teams.
Vlad ever to play the game?
You know, if he is, fun fact, he is the pitcher I have faced the most in my big league career.
It's incredible to think about. How did you do against him?
You know, batting average-wise, not too great. But I will say he only punched me about 5 or 6 times, and I think I have about 7 or 8 walks against him. I need to get fact-checked on that, but a lot of off-speed pitches were thrown my way, so it was couple lineouts thrown in there, but that guy is fun to be on the same field with. I'll tell you that much. Probably one of my favorite jerseys that I have in my man cave is the Angels, the OG original Shohei Ohtani jersey.
Three balls and a strike. There's ball 4. So Gallardo reaches. New second baseman for Team Canada. It's Gabriel Tremblay.
Number 15, Miguel Pereira.
Trying to shore up that defense. Keep this game close. One-0. Again, the issue for Hubert has been throwing strikes.
Yeah, I think for him, unfortunately, he just needs to. He's leaving a lot of balls on the arm side that just continue to run off the plate.
And if you're Venezuela, what incentive is there to swing the bat?
And
That splits the plate.
And that's what they're waiting for. Yeah, I think when you're in a situation, you're Venezuela, you have the lead, you might as well wait for the pitcher to come to you guys.
Canada has walked 8 men. Not exactly conducive to having a lot of success versus a team like Venezuela. Factor in the 4 hit by pitches, that's 12 free passes. Make it 5 hit by pitches.
Coming to the plate, the first baseman, number 10, Jose.
Here's another look at it, Tony.
Oof. Let's rub some dirt on it. Why not?
That's what tough guys do, huh?
Ice, maybe? Oh, no. Too
Pitch
much.
goes all the way to the backstop. Runner advances from second to third. Pereira stays put at first.
We're gonna get a quick mound visit to talk a couple things over with them. I like it.
I'm sure this conversation, I've had it before in my life, is just trying to slow things down.
Slow the game down just a tick.
They can speed up on you. These are high stakes games. They're young kids. They're still dealing with emotions, and at this age in particular, there's a lot going on in the heads of these young men. Sometimes executing things just not as easy as make it sound, and another hit by pitch will load the bases up. So Venezuela a chance to really make Canada hurt.
Coming to the plate, the second baseman, number 2, Gabriel Velasquez.
Yeah, just another hit by pitch from Hubert, and you know, hopefully he can get another mound visit from one of his players and maybe calm himself down too, but they're gonna go infield in here.
And that goes to the backstop. Almost hit Velasquez. Right now, he just has no control. Canada will get somebody up and moving. I don't really understand bringing the infield in here. I get that you need to preserve the 4-run game, but what's also starting to creep into play is the possibility of getting run ruled. Bases loaded, nobody out. Venezuela could make this a really ugly inning, and a hard hit ball to the right spot could clear the bases, or could be a play that's made if you put your infield back.
Yeah, I think the play with the infield in is, you know, they're thinking they're trying to keep the game close, but you know, even a bloop over the shortstop or second baseman's head might score 1 or 2 runs. So, yeah, we'll see what the strategy for him if it works out.
3 balls and a strike. Hubert has walked Gallardo, hit Pereira with a pitch, and then hit Romero with a pitch. 3-1. Popped up. Does it stay playable? No, it does not. Velasquez has 3 RBIs today. A sacrifice fly to right, 2 RBI single last inning. Three-two, there's ball 4. So it's now a 5-run game, and what does Benoit Blaise do here?
Pena.
Second walk of the inning. Drives home the 9th run of the game for Venezuela. Infield stays in. Iverson Pena will take high for ball 1.
Yeah, and if I'm on Team Venezuela, I think the strategy, if Hubert's going to stay in, is that I'm going to have to take till I get at least 1 strike until I start to swing the bat, because why not?
Well, here's the thing. If you walk another, you bring the winning run to the plate, but not by normal standards. You bring up a batter that could potentially walk it off via run rule. 2-1 pitch is high, 3 balls and a strike. I think I understand why Benoit Blaise is doing this. You might need Hubert later in this tournament. Get him more comfortable with throwing strikes in real game situations. 3-1 pitch. Hit in the air to center. Paquette is there to make the catch. Runner comes home. Pereira is safe. It's 10-4.
Now batting is the shortstop, number 7, Danny Morales.
And again for Pena right here, he's had a good day at the plate, couple hits so far, really understands the zone, and even a great swing right here. But hey, to get a sac fly and another run across the board is, another, we call them quabs, a quality at bat. So that quality at bat will go down as a check mark in the book.
So now 6 runs of difference separate Canada and Venezuela. Danny Morales has been productive, single, 2 walks. And if Venezuela can load the bases, the winning run would come up. There's a strike. Morales very patient. Two-one pitch. And Morales hits the deck. Both runners advance on the wild pitch. Already been 2 batters hit in this inning.
Yeah, you talk about free bases and free 90s in this game, and Canada unfortunately has given up a plethora of them.
3-1. Ball 4, bases loaded. We'll see if they leave Hubert in the game against the lefty. And it appears that they're going to make a change. This is interesting, though. 2 of the coaches are having a conversation with the home plate umpire, and you feel for Hubert. Sometimes it's difficult to. Jacques, 5'11", 205 pounds, started the game at second base, is now coming in relief of Maxime Hubert, who made it through 2/3 of an inning, walked 4. He hit 3 men and gave up a couple of runs. They're just trying to keep this thing close enough to maybe have a miraculous comeback. Last time we saw Raphael Jacques on the mound was when he was very effective against Czechia, probably the MVP of that game. Went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and no runs. Here's another look at your international bracket. Should Venezuela win this game, they will advance to the international final. Canada would face the winner of Philippines and Curacao, and then the winner of that game would beat Venezuela. So Canada still has a chance in this one, but if they lose, they still have a chance to meet Venezuela in the international final. Jacques will have Camilo Gutierrez with the bases loaded and 1 out. Some changes defensively in the field as well. Haven't quite gotten updated on who's playing where. They're giving him an extended warm-up because in a perfect world, Canada would have extended Hubert through the rest of the game. He only was able to record 2 outs. It's just a gorgeous day in Easley, and we still have one more left to get through, but without the threat of rain, everybody has smiles on their face. But nobody more than the Venezuelan fans whose team has put together a dominant performance after a very slow start. They were down 4-1 heading into the bottom of the second inning. Since then, they've outscored Canada 10-0.
And scoring in every inning.
First pitch is high. So, your changes defensively for Canada. Leo McMahon will move to second base from left field. And Jacob Henry will move to left as this is popped up. Foul ground, not a lot of room, and it gets out of play. Two balls and a strike. That's taken high, ball 3. Hitters count. Venezuela looking for the knockout punch. They need 4 to do it. 3-1. High and outside. They need 3 to do it now. Second RBI walk of the inning. And if you're Venezuela, how do you get it done? Do you just keep passing the baton? Do you keep going station to station?
I think one thing right here for the Venezuelan offense is just kind of the same approach they had against Hubert, and I'm not going to be swinging until I get a strike. And
the throw back from the catcher is too high. Venezuela steals another run. 2 runs, and Venezuela will walk it off.
Yeah, and I know the coaches on this team right now, and especially the players. I know it's been a long day for that side of the field, and you just got to continue to try to finish this game the best way you can.
11 walks for Canada. Do they put the runners in motion? So there's a strike. If you do that, you move the 2 winning runs into scoring position with the middle of your order up. 2-1 pitch. Down and outside. There is also a sportsmanship element. You don't want to be too aggressive. However, if you could put the game away in 5 innings, you might want to try. But for the moment, Venezuela's staying put.
Yeah, there's a sportsman aspect to it as well, but you know, if you're thinking about strategy of this tournament, and if you can get out of a game without using some more pitches, then I would try to do that.
Full count. The runners stayed put on that 3-2 pitch. Jacques has started to find the zone a little bit more. Runners stay put. Ball 4. Bases are loaded again, and a single might do the job.
Now coming to the plate, the third baseman, number 17, Villager, Fonseca.
Just to show you how much this offense has turned it on. Venezuela has batted through the order for the 3rd consecutive inning.
That is impressive.
Fonseca tays high, ball 1. Two balls and no strikes. Fonseca wanted it all. Canada has issued 12 walks. They've hit 6 batters. Venezuela has scored every inning. The 2-1 is a strike.
You can even argue that it would be hard to be hitting in this situation just because you don't know how big the zone's going to get, and also you're trying to understand being the best version of a hitter that you can be.
Fonseca strikes out for a second time, and that's an example of wanting to do damage in a big spot after a tough game offensively, individually. Got a little aggressive there. Ball outside. So Gallardo, who's walked 3 times, has been hit once, and has scored 3 runs, is ahead in the count 2-0. Three balls and no strikes. And you've got to be thinking this is an automatic take.
I don't think he's swinging for the fences here.
Three-one pitch, hit in the air to right. Gauthier is there to make the more defensive changes in this one. Get to that in a moment. The 0-1 is down and in. And pitch count, another thing to keep your eye on with Hernandez, who's done a fine job. Through 4 1/3, he's allowed 5 hits, just 1 run, has not walked anyone. It's your 1-1 pitch. Laced back foul. So for Venezuela, Iverson Pena moves to 3rd base. Breaking ball stayed high. That's Pena. And in left field, Fabricio Diaz moves for Pena. 2-2.
Right here.
2-2. High and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Hernandez finds his 5th strikeout. Retires the leadoff man, and that's exactly what you want to do if you're Venezuela. Turn it right back over to your offense, a chance to walk it off. And they've scored at least 3 runs in each of the last 3 innings.
Yeah, and I think if you're, going in there as a pitcher, and you just want to attack the zone. You want to attack the zone. You want to let the defense work. You're already up by 8 runs, and just go after these guys.
Canada, though, has 8 hits in this game. This pop from Argentina, winners of World Cup in 2023. Pitches outside to Leo McMahon. Mendez threw 87 pitches for 59 strikes. Part of the order coming up to try to walk it off for Venezuela. Pereira, Romero, and Velasquez. They have been on base a combined 8 times. They have, as a group, combined 3 hits. Actually, more than I would have expected. 3 out of the 4 hits for the team have come from 5 through 7 in the order. Line drive up the middle, a 2-out hit for Canada. You know what they say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Journey of an 8-run deficit begins with a single.
Henry.
So Henry will bat after coming into the field, take strike 1. Big lead off first. They're going to give up second, and a perfect hit and run. Flared into right. McMahon's headed for third, and that's good execution by Canada.
Never say never. And for Jacob right there, just to, you know, if the runner's going, just putting the ball in play. Beautiful job.
Number 13, Malik Dufresne.
Malik Dauphiné. It's 1 for 2, a walk, a single, a strikeout. And these runs are important for Venezuela. With 2, they walk it off. But every run that Canada gets back is another one that Venezuela has to score. 1-0 runner going. There's a strike. Defensive indifference allows Cote to move in, or excuse me, Henry to move into second. It's 1-2. One-two pitch. Hit out into left, a base hit. That's going to bring home McMahon, and they'll hold the runner at third. An RBI single for Malik Dauphiné. We're back to a 7-run game.
Coming to the plate, the center fielder, number 8, Justin Paquette.
First pitch, runner going, defensive indifference. Part of me wonders if Venezuela knows the run rule. Ground ball up the middle, Morales fields it. His throw to first is pitch strike. To say the command has been a bit iffy would be generous on our part. That's hit on a line to right and caught. Gauthier was perfectly positioned for out number 1.
Still a great swing.
It's a great swing.
Now batting the first baseman, number 10, Jose Romero.
Fly ball hit to left. Henry makes the catch, glasses gleaming. So Jacques has found some better command this inning. A line out to right and a fly out to left, letting his defense make plays. Really excited to bring you the next game after this one. The host team easily facing off against Hawaii in an elimination game. Ground ball, third base, Arsenault kicks it. So the E5 allows Gabriel Velasquez to reach.
Ah, man, I feel bad for him. I think it's just, it's getting long in the day, and, unfortunately, I think that ball just took an unfortunate hop for him right there, and he just unfortunately wasn't able to come up with it.
Iverson Pena, runner on first. Pena has singled twice, struck out looking, and hit a sacrifice fly. Scorebook with a lot going on. What you won't see a lot of on Venezuela's side, hits. They've collected just a few of them. Popped up. Shallow center. Who's going to get it? It's the shortstop, Dauphiné, who puts it in his back pocket. 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. Again, Canada has been part of two of the longest games in this tournament. And walks will do that. Walks and errors and high pitch counts. Even count the pitch. On the ground to short. Morales to first, and a nice play by Romero to dig that out, one away.
Stepping to the plate, the catcher number 14, Brian Lamont.
So two more chances for Canada. Brian Labont, he's 0 for 3 today. There's strike one. On the ground to third. The throw in plenty of time by Pena. So two ground outs, and now Venezuela's 1 out away from advancing to the international final.
Now batting number 12, Thomas Lodo.
Pinch hitter comes in for Canada. It's Thomas Bilodeau, who had a whale of a performance in Canada's Game 2 win. He went 5 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. The MVP of that game for sure. He's fouling that to the right side. Bilodeau's running everything out. I don't think he gets to hit much. He might be pitcher only, but a pretty good swing through the zone there. Oh, 0-2 with one pitch Diaz can punch a ticket. And there it is, called strike 3. Venezuela moving on to the international final. A dominant win, 12-5, where they outscored Canada 11-1 from the bottom of the second inning on. Tony, what are your takeaways from this one?
Yeah, I think if Canada goes back and looks at this game, and the game could have been a lot closer without the free passes and unfortunately the error.